late start. Let me begin with a few thank yous. First of all, to the city of Los Angeles for being fantastic hosts, and more specifically to Jeannie Buss, of course the governor of the LA Lakers, and to Steve Ballmer from the Clippers, and really their entire organizations. It's unique to be in a city where we have two teams that in essence act as co-hosts. In addition, AEG, which of course operates the Staples Center, helps us put on all the events here, so appreciate and thank them as well. Of course, we have a new format for the All-Star Game this year, and let me thank Chris Paul in particular. I'm sorry he's not here to participate in it because it was a little bit of his baby, but I know I talked about it last year that coming out of the All-Star Game, Chris and I had a discussion, he as president of the Players Association, and said we know we can put on a better performance for our fans. And again, also, it ultimately ended up in a meeting with Michael Jordan, who, in addition to, of course, being the governor of the Charlotte Hornets, is the chairman of our Labor Relations Committee. So Michael, together with Chris, with Michelle Roberts, and I, and some other folks from the Players Association and the league, relatively quickly came up with this new format, and we'll see how successful it is, but I think it's already been met with a fair amount of enthusiasm from, of course, our team captains, who then went about picking teams. It's something new we're trying, but there's been a fair amount of chatter about it on social media as well, and the players seem to have embraced it. So I'm particularly thankful to the Players Association for their willingness to sit down with us and try something new so quickly. In terms of what we are focused on as a league, technology continues to be a major focus of the league office. I was at the Recode conference in Huntington Beach earlier this week out in Los Angeles. I participated in a forum with a company called Magic Leap, which is looking for new ways to bring our games to fans. In their case, it's a concept called mixed reality. It's not virtual reality, it's not augmented reality, but in essence, it's a new way of looking at our players in the game that in essence can bring it to our fans throughout the world. We recognize that we can't scale our arenas, that our arenas are practically full everywhere, and certainly the courtside seats. And the challenge for this league is how can we then bring that experience to our well over 1 billion fans around the world who will never get a chance to see a game in person. So technology and creating a more immersive experience for fans is something that we spend a lot of time on at the league office. And in social media as well, we now have a social media community globally estimated at roughly 1.4 billion, which is quite remarkable. And those are people who are engaging in some way with our players or our teams or the league office or with their local broadcaster on events around the game. And in addition, this past season, when it comes to televising our games, digital media and mobile devices have really changed the game in that using all of those various devices, last year, roughly 1 out of 7 people on the planet, a little over 1 billion people, watched some portion of an NBA game. And as we continue to be more of a global game, of course 25% of the players in the league right now are from outside the United States, and interest just continues to grow. So for us, it's a challenge a bit in terms of how we can use this technology to bring the game to those fans who we know aren't going to come to our arenas. And I'd say I love being out here in Los Angeles and sort of in Northern California, where there's so much focus on the use of technology. And when I think back on sort of even, we have an event every Friday of All-Star Week that we call our Technology Summit. And if you look back on the course of just these roughly 18 years and think that it's still, the iPhone is only roughly 10 years old, and some of the most valuable corporations now in the world didn't even exist when we sort of began this theme of focusing on technology, and start to get a sense of the amount of disruption there is around media. I'm frankly incredibly optimistic about what's happening in the marketplace and new and different ways we're going to have to bring our game to fans. Another one of our focuses right now at the league office is on youth basketball, and we're spending a lot of time on that. And I think it's a big opportunity, I think, to once again, on a global basis, focus on elite players in terms of better training, better fitness, so that they ultimately can be successful at the highest level, whether that be in college or in the NBA or frankly leagues around the world, but also for the larger group of young players, boys and girls, who will never play at a high level, but who will accomplish enormous things through the playing of sport, whether it's learning important values about life, things like respect and teamwork and hard work and discipline, all those great values that come with this game. And that is something that from a league standpoint, together with our teams, we're putting enormous amount of energy and resources into. We've opened up academies in China, in Africa, in India, focused on those elite players, and then using our junior NBA and junior WNBA programs, we're working with local governments throughout the world, again, to get kids just participating in sports. And lastly, just in terms of a general media trend, something else we talked about on Friday, when you look back roughly 18 years ago, when we first started doing these technology summits around All-Star, at that time, 13 out of the top 100 rated television shows in the United States were live sports. This past year, it was 81 out of the top 100 rated programs were live sports. So as you can see, the marketplace is being drawn to premium televised sports. And so, the notion that there's a downturn, I think in the business generally is just wrong. And what we're seeing over time is that we have even additional bidders. And as these new media companies come into sports, they're realizing how difficult it is from an original programming standpoint to create hits. But there's consistency in going with live sports and especially premium sports, knowing they're going to deliver a certain rating. So we're also excited about those opportunities that come through those new entrants in the market in the United States and also globally as well. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, we're going to start on the back right. Jeff?